Hi everybody, hope you're doing alright. You probably not. Yeah, your post-match reaction here. I'm going live as well for this one. Why not? Why not interact with you guys? Apologies if my internet goes off, but it's just how it is. I don't think it will, but the weather we can't dictate. Leeds United won, Norwich 3. Yeah, what we're going to say about that? That was dreadful. That was really bad. I think it's the first time this season I've sort of questioned Leeds. I got West Brom because I think West Brom were a totally different team. I thought they were a completely different team to anything we've faced before, with the money, with the prowess, the stature they've got going forward. But that was two teams who, we've gone to Norwich and we've outplayed them. And I'll get onto what I think about Norwich in a little bit, but yeah, I just think that was disgusting. I really do. But then I say it's disgusting, and what you guys have always got to bear in mind that all your comments and all this sort of stuff, it's in the moment. And what you've got to bear in mind is, you're all going to be heated. I'm quite heated at the minute. I'm trying to count to 10 really in my head. But Leeds were just poor. We were poor from minute one, and I get a lot of people who are saying, we were intense from the start, we were good from the start, and we did. We didn't start our normal selves. Normally, we sort of don't really get into the game, and we did. We were in the game from moment one, which was really good to see with Leeds. We were going forward, we were going at Norwich, and I don't think we started that badly. I just think when they started coming forward, I thought we looked very susceptible. There seemed to be gaps everywhere. There were gaps on the left side, there were gaps through the centre, the gaps on the right. I thought for sure that was, you talk about under the lights and how brilliant he was in the Derby game. I thought this game was probably one of his worst. Didn't screen the back four well at all. I was always a little bit cautious to throw Forshaw under the bus, if you will, before the game even started, really, because I was really in the Calvin Phillips to start camp. He's not injured. Why would you not start him? And Calvin's the best in the league at doing what he does, and we didn't start him, and we lost something major. We lost his range of passing, we lost his tenacity, we lost his aggressive nature in the middle, and Norwich really capitalised on that. I feel Calvin would have given Stiepermann a real game, a real battle, and I thought Stiepermann just had the ease. I thought he was comfortable. I thought he had the ball. He was throwing himself on the floor, yes, but Leeds were committing silly fouls here, there, and everywhere, and I just thought we weren't in the game. I really think that, and I said that to the lads in the second half, in the first half, sorry, at half time. A lot of the lads were saying, everyone at Ellen Road was saying Leeds were the better team and all this sort of stuff, and I really disagreed. I thought Norwich were comfortable. I thought they went 2-0 ahead. Good free kick, it was deflected, but once again with Leeds, it's individual errors. We've always blamed Bailey Peacock-Farrell for, we look at that highlight reel of 12 of the 28 goals he let in could have been attributed down to Bailey Peacock-Farrell. But what we didn't ever look at is what was going on in front of him, how the chances were being created, all this sort of stuff. Yes, Bailey had to deal with it, and he didn't, but could they have stopped it in front of him? I'll go on to what I think of the whole 11 in a bit, but I just think, I just don't get the whole blueprint of the game. I mean, why is Alioski on set pieces? Why is he on every set piece we have? This history of Alioski. I like Alioski at left back. I've been very complimentary of Alioski, but why is he on free kicks? Why is he on every corner when Pablo's on? I don't understand. But I thought they controlled the game. I thought they weren't out of first gear really, Norwich. I don't think any of their goals, apart from the free kick that was heavily deflected, were that special. I just thought we were second best to every single ball. Yeah, I thought every single ball Leeds, we were slack. We didn't look up for it. I thought in minute one, for the first 20 minutes, I'm not going to disagree with everyone. I'm not going to do that. I thought we were decent. But did we create anything? Did we do anything that was out of the blue? Did we do anything that was, did we have a real clear-cut chance? This is what I want you guys to think about, from my point of view anyway. Football's a game of opinions, but did we have a clear-cut chance? The only real chance of note I can remember is when Roof was excellent and went through after they'd scored the second goal and there was a little bit of reaction. And, he'd done all that work, and once again, I thought it was a poor finish. It's very critical because he's got himself in that position, which was excellent, but he just hit it straight at the keeper. And, It's interesting, isn't it? Because is that the issue with Leeds United? Is that the issue? We are just not clinical. I think it is. I think it's a massive, massive problem with Leeds. I think we have to have 4 chances to score a goal. I've always said it this season, you know. And you know, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. I'm coming on to you guys here after watching the game, and you know, it's the positive I'd take out of it was Bamford. I thought when he came on, he was excellent. I thought he looked fully fit. I thought he looked really, really good. And what you've got to bear in mind is hopefully, you know, when Izzy Brown's back fit as well, which I don't know, might be in 42 weeks' time. But when he's back fit, hopefully we can shuffle maybe into a 4-2-3-1. Maybe Izzy can go on the left. You know, you can have Pablo in the middle and then potentially a Clark or something on the right, and then we can play Kemar or Bamford up front. So it will change, but we are highly dependent on Izzy Brown coming back and Izzy Brown coming soon. I think you've seen with Bamford came back and gave a real injection. I thought he looked good when he came on. What I do not understand is when Jack Clark comes on, why do we not give him the ball? Why is all of the play going down the left? There was no, every time, even when Forshaw had the ball in the middle, even when Cleek had the ball in the middle, there was no passes out wide to Clark. And I don't know about you guys, but I thought the 3 times he got the ball, 3 times is what I counted. I wasn't able to go to the game today, unfortunately, so I was a bit of an armchair fan. But the 3 times he managed to have a go at their left back, he was successful. He got 1 really good crossing. And the others, he was just causing Jamal Lewis a little bit more, he was giving him a little bit more to think about. I think it was Aaron's on that left side, but it's a massive issue. I was creating chances, and that's why we're so heavily after Dan James, and that's why we're so heavily after. Evidently, Bielsa saw a problem. He saw a problem with what's going on the wings. We don't have that much on the wings. We don't have that much natural pace, and you've seen it when Douglas comes on. A lot of people are criticising Douglas. I do think he's slow. I do think he's a lot slower, and sometimes in the second half, just some of his decision making, you know. It was bizarre, but I just feel like he's stagnant. He seems to think that Alioski is a bad option on the left wing, and I tend to agree with him. Alioski's not a left winger. You've got 2 left backs on the field, and that's the problem. You have 2 left backs on the field, and you expect Leeds to create width and go forward. I thought Harrison, there was multiple times in that first half where the ball was played out to him, and it was just one-on-one, him and Jamal Lewis, and I thought Jamal Lewis won it every single time. You know, he'd come up against Lewis, he'd try cut inside, and Lewis would block it, and then Stevenman would double up on him. I thought Norwich, I really did, guys, and I didn't think they were excellent today. I really didn't. But they were very similar to Wolves last season for me, Norwich. Excellent on the ball, aggressive on and off the ball, and they took the chances. Wolves did the exact same thing at Ellen Road last season. I think they had recorded 5 shots on target last season, scored 3. I think Norwich had about 6 shots on target today. And let's go through the goals a little bit as well. That first goal, what's Jansen doing? What's he doing? You know, we all get that, you know, he comes out the back with the ball in possession. I understand that. That's excellent. I love that from Jansen. Brings the ball out. Why not just release it? You've got Hernandez, who was in acres of space. Cleek was in acres of space. And he keeps going with it, loses the ball because, you know, we're against a quality opposition, and they are a quality opposition. You've got to give credit where credit's due, guys. There was a lot of Norwich fans who were coming out and saying Leeds were the better team on the day at Carrow Road. You've got to come out and say they're the better team. They're shits for the Spygate thing, but they were the better team today. They were closing Leeds down on every second touch. They were winning the ball. And is that because Leeds were lacklustre, or is it because Norwich were excellent? I think it could be a little bit of both. But, you know, it's just one of those, really. It's a really difficult thing to digest. But when you look at the goals, I thought Jansen made a real error. He was coming out of his box and carried on going. They intercepted, went a little bit further forward. I think it was Vrancic who got the ball, and then Jansen went straight through the back of him, clipped him on the back of the heels. Vrancic had the free kick, deflected in off Forshaw. I don't know if you guys, I thought the wall was a bit far back as well. He'd really marshalled the wall quite far back, and I didn't understand why the ref did that. Once again, we had that the other week, didn't we? It looked about the wall looked about 25 yards back, further back from the kicker. I don't know why that happened, but yeah. And then obviously, you know, they score the free kick. I mean, it's a moment of quality. I don't know if it was going in, but the deflection took it far wide of Kiko. And the second goal, pedestrian on the ball, you know, muck up at the back, and then Forshaw gets it, and I've no idea what he's doing. takes 5-6 seconds to the ball was in it, and he looks quite casual. My dad even said he turned around. My dad just went, "Why is he taking so long? Get rid of it, get rid of it." And then he lost the ball. Norwich counter, shots deflect into the path of Pookie. That's what Pookie does. He's Johnny on the spot, Robbie Fowler-esque, Robbie Keane-esque. He's always on the spot. He never scores spectacular goals, but he's always in the right place. And then, the third goal. The third goal, what can you say about that? I actually thought it was Kiko's fault for that one. I thought that was Kiko's fault. It just seemed to deflect a little bit, and I don't know. It's one of those things where you've got to take it, haven't you? You've got to take it how it is. And at the end of the day, we did them at Carrow Road, and they've done us here really. And it's just one of those things where we've just got to take it on the chin. I thought Norwich were better on the day. We've had better days, haven't we? I thought it was really positive to see at the end with Bamford. I thought that was excellent. I thought when he came on, he made a real difference, and that's what we need. We need someone like Bamford to come on. We need someone like Izzy Brown to come on, and then they can change the whole dynamic of the game. They really can. And you saw that with Bamford. He looked full of life. He was energetic. He was sharp. And he was really good to see. And he was unlucky not to score. The ball went out. He had a decent strike. Then it went out for a corner. Nodded it in, a really tidy header, and my dad was very happy. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it at the end of the season, it could be down to goal difference, which you've got to bear in mind. Goal difference is a massive factor. Teams have gone up with goal difference before, so it's not, we can't discount it. But I thought it was very interesting to see that, with Norwich from their first game. I had a look at the teams that were lined up. I was with Leeds were 2-0 down, and I was looking through the teams. And Leeds had pretty much the same team, aside from, I think it was Bailey Peacock Fowle, obviously was out for Casilla. You had Berardi in. I think we are missing Berardi. I think he moves the ball a lot quicker from our third to their third, the middle third as well. And I think the other one was Saiz, obviously. And the beautiful thing about Saiz was, however badly he was playing, I think they alluded to it on the Inside Ellen Road podcast, however badly Saiz was playing, he always occupied men. So I remember in the first game, Teti was glued to Saiz, and it allowed Cleek, it allowed Hernandez to get a little bit more space. They roamed a little bit more. Alioski was getting in the pockets. Roof was getting in the pockets. Bamford came off, started getting in the pockets, but it was 3-0 at that point. And the Norwich team was completely different. I look back at the side, and it was really interesting. There's 4 players who were still in that squad from the first game. So they've evidently had a complete change up. They weren't happy. Farker's evidently changed it up. But yeah, so Leeds were coming into it was sort of playing a fresh team today, because they had 7 new players, and it was really interesting how Leeds and them sort of went for themselves really. But I just thought there was no width, and it couldn't have been paramount enough, could it? I mean, it's not been an excellent week, Leeds, from obviously the Norwich victory was great, and we're all buzzing about that. But obviously the Dan James saga, which went on till the last minute, and then this game. But I thought the natural width was lacking as well in that second half. I thought maybe if Douglas had a left winger, I don't blame Alioski because he's not a left winger. He's a left back, so he can't really give you that much going wide. He wasn't really touch, and Leeds weren't, as I've said, playing the ball to Clark. Forshaw wasn't getting it and spraying it. I thought Cleek didn't have a great game. I thought Tyler Roberts was unlucky. I thought he was having an okay game, and then he got taken off. I thought he was a little bit of a bright spot, but I just thought they were aggressive. And sometimes, guys, you can get as angry as you want. And I was fuming at the end of the game. I really was. I was frustrated. I was having a go at the referee. I was having a go at Norwich falling on the floor. But at the end of the day, I do think it's just one of those where they were the better team on the day. They congratulated us down at Carrow Road, as I've said. We went away with that. And I think they were the better team on the day. I thought they were quicker. They were aggressive. They look comfortable. I don't think they got out of second gear, and that's me being real with you. I don't think they got out of second gear. I really don't. I thought against Birmingham, when they played Birmingham the first 60 minutes, they were ridiculously good, and they didn't play that. And that I don't know what that shows about Leeds. Maybe we were better in the first 45. I do think we were, but I thought they did really well to stifle Leeds in the second half. I'll just read a couple of your comments there. I'm going to start from the bottom, guys. Damar Facey, it was men versus boys. Jack Jennings, worst of the year. I really would agree, and it's one of those things, guys. I'm not just gonna. There's no point in blowing smoke up everyone's asses. They were the better team. They were the better team, and it's just one of those, isn't it? You just got to appreciate it on the day. It's just how it is. I do think Phillips should have started. I didn't understand that in the press conference. I spoke to my mates about that before the game. He breaks play up really, really well. He's aggressive. You know, I get that Forshaw was in a winning side. I understand that, but Phillips' range of passing as well. You know, when Clark came on, I feel like Phillips would have utilised Clark a lot more. Clark didn't get a touch, and when he did, he looked dangerous. He looks very good at Ellen Road. I think he looks a little bit poor away from home. But you know, he's a young lad. But at Ellen Road, he seems to get the chomp at the bit really, and he's excellent. And I tell you what, Jamal Lewis was giving him a lot of space as well. When Clark had the ball, he wasn't quick on him like Joe Mattock was last week for Rotherham. He was giving him 4 or 5 yards. But let's talk about the game anyway. Let's talk about the team from back to front really. Kiko, I don't know. What would you give Kiko? I think he's at fault for the 3rd goal. I really do. I thought it was slack, and I don't think every player deserves criticism. I don't think because he's a new signing you can just avert him from criticism. He's getting used to the English game. It's probably the biggest atmosphere he'll face in England. That sort of temperate game. But I didn't think he was great. I don't think a lot of his passing from the back as well. It was he looked a little bit nervy. I don't know. Maybe sort of a 5 or a 6 for a Kiko. Right back, Ayling. Don't know what you guys think. I'm going to read your comments because I always read your comments. But Ayling, I thought was shocking again. I thought he was poor again. He didn't look up for it. He was lackadaisical in possession. He was poor in the tackle, really weak in the tackle. There was a couple of times where Stiepermann just sort of had him on the floor and was holding him. Don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a couple of times where he just held him on the floor. Ayling looked a little bit tepid, a little bit scared. I don't know what happened if the occasion got to him, but he's played in occasions like that before under Monk when it was Brighton and we beat him 2-0. I don't think with Ayling he's ever been the Ayling since Gary Monk. I don't know. I don't think he's ever been that same Ayling, and I just thought he was shocking tonight. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch. If I'm honest with you guys, I really did. I thought he was dreadful. I'd probably give Ayling a 4. I'm not going to give him a 3, but I thought Jansen. I thought he was at fault for the first goal. I really did. There's a couple of times in the first half where his presence, he was able to chest it down or knock it out ahead of Pukki, which was nice to see. I thought he looked confident. That first 20 minutes, I thought we were sort of rampant a little bit. We weren't creating anything, and that's what was worrying me. The fact that we weren't creating anything, and Norwich still did look dangerous when they went forward. But I'd probably give Jansen a 5. Cooper, 5, wasn't at his best tonight at all. Alioski. Alioski. I didn't think he was too bad at left back. 5. Then you look into the midfield, I thought Harrison was poor. I thought in the first half he had a lot. He could have done a lot because there was a lot of times where he was isolated versus Jamal Lewis, and I thought Lewis won the battle really, really easily, actually. I don't think he caused him any problems. He'd cut back in on his left. He wouldn't go on his right. The one time he went on his right, he crossed the ball in and Alioski volleyed it just wide. Don't know if you remember that, but he just needs to be a little bit more confident in going down the line and using both feet, and he's just not at the minute. And it is really difficult to see. For me, it looks like Harrison at the minute is better against the poorer teams. Against the top teams, he sort of goes missing. And I don't know if that's going to be a thing for him in the future. Click. 6 or 7 again. I thought a lot better in the first half. Second half he faded away, which was really disappointing to see. Tyler Roberts, I thought Tyler Roberts was probably the best player in the first half, maybe a 7. And then Pablo, I don't know what happened to him. I thought Pablo, he was okay in the first half, maybe a 6 or a 7. Maybe I'm being too generous here, maybe a 6. And then I'd have given Roof a 6 as well. I don't think he did much. Getting frustrated, and he didn't have a lot to go at. But this is what I mean, guys, with the 4-1-4-1. When Izzy Brown comes back, hopefully we can transition to what Bielsa likes to do, which is either 4-2-3-1 or the 3-3-1-3. I hope we can do that, because Izzy Brown gives you a little bit more going forward. For Huddersfield, he played on the left, he played on the right, he played in the middle, just behind the striker. I hope he gives us a little bit more, because we need something. But at the end of the day, Izzy Brown isn't natural width. That's not where he plays. He's a number 10. So I don't know. The Dan James thing sort of scuppered me a little bit. But at the end of the day, we've got to take the positives from this. Paddy Bamford scored. He's going up against his old club next week, and I think he'll be chomping at the bit for that. Obviously, Izzy's not back, but we need a massive performance next week, and it's against a really tough Borough side. The Borough side who've gone away today and got a 3-2 win against West Brom. I mean, not many teams do that at the Hawthorns. I'd argue, is it just Derby and Borough, I think, who've done that this season? I don't know. I'm just going to read some of your comments back anyway. Maybe you guys will be able to cheer me up. Feel sorry for Shackleton. Jack Jennings, yeah, I agree, mate. Shackleton's got to start. I get the whole experience thing with Alien, I get it. But, I mean, how far does that go? How far does experience go? Because he's not showing his experience at the minute. It's not like his performances are increasing and he's got the know-how of how to do certain things. He's giving the ball away cheaply. He's losing possession very easily. He's not getting forward that much. His defending's poor. So I don't understand what experience quantifies really here. When people say he's got more experience, what does that mean? Does that mean he's better in the bigger games? Because he wasn't today. I also forget that I've missed out Forshaw. I've missed out Forshaw as well, just in the player ratings. I thought Forshaw was just, I mean, I've said it at the start, I don't want to go over him and batter him, but I thought him and Ayling were the worst players on the pitch today. I thought he was just shocking. Didn't get the ball, he wasn't playing it quick enough. And I thought that was, I don't know what you guys think. Was that a Norwich quality? Because it could have been. I'm giving credit to Norwich, I thought they were excellent today. But is that one of those things where Leeds were just poor at moving the ball? Because it was 8 or 9 touches when it could have been 3 or 4. And that's what worried me. They were nipping quickly hitting the ball, 1-2 touches. They were in at the tackle, they were aggressive. Leeds just seemed it was pedestrian, and I thought Forshaw typified that. I thought him in the defensive role, as play started, he was the one who was starting play, and every time he got the ball, it was side to side, it was him losing the ball. I thought Steedman was on him every time he got the ball, and he didn't handle it well, I thought. And that's where I think Calvin would have just dealt with it a little bit better. But I thought the midfield battle was lost today. You know, I thought their defensive midfield. I thought, what was his name? Tom Tribal. I don't know who else was in the middle. I can't think. It was also obviously Vrancic and Stephen. And I thought they won the midfield battle today. And I think in any team, when you win the midfield battle, then you win the game. I think it's such a massive battle to win. So yeah, Isaac Elmy, Pablo injured. Let's hope not. Hugh Jenkins has stepped down at Swansea. Great. I mean, he's fucked Leeds over and then he steps down. Excellent. Sloppy in defence for all 3 goals. Yeah, I'd agree, mate. Very sloppy. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's individual errors which cause Leeds again, and we've had that too many times this season. Freddie O'Neill, when is he back? Once again, mate, we were quoted. I think I looked at Leeds United live before the game started, and it was 3 weeks, which is just it's killer. I'd love him to be back next week. Hopefully next week. I mean, he played for the under-23s today. Once again, he scored, and it's 4 goals in 3 for Izzy Brown, and he's on fire. Bielsa saying that he's not ready for selection at the minute. I mean, he's getting through 90 minutes for the under-23, so you'd hope for that. I'm hoping to see him back in less than 3 weeks, because I think we need him. I think we're stretched, and I think we need him. Because do you know what? Before today, I said we were all right at the back. There are individual errors. I don't think we'll play many teams like Norwich again, which is positive. We've played them twice now. They're out of the way. That's what you got to think. But, you know, we've got Sheffield United coming up. We've got West Brom coming up. We've got Swansea coming up. You know, we've got Brentford away. We've got Birmingham away. So we need our fully fit squad back, don't we? At least Bamford scored, David Wood. Yeah, David, I agree with you, mate. Bamford's scoring's massive. And I thought he looked excellent when he came on. I thought he looked excellent. Was giving nice little touches in and around the box. I thought he was really, really good. Guys, as well, if you haven't, please like the video. That'd be, if you're agreeing what I'm saying, please like the video. I'm trying to read all your comments out as I can. Too many long balls into Roof was a bad tactic. Yeah, I agree, Rick. And I think that's the 4-1-4-1, mate. I think Roof's he's isolated. He's completely isolated with this formation. I didn't think we had that many players joining him in the attack. I don't think Harrison was joining him enough in the attack. I don't think Alioski was joining him enough in the attack, you know, from either side. Clark didn't get the ball enough. I really felt if Clark could have got the ball a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I thought Norwich were just... The thing is, they were ruthless in closing Leeds down, and it didn't stop for 90 minutes. It was sort of the vice. It was sort of Leeds were the exact same at the start of the season, weren't we? But I thought they were ruthless in closing us down. So is that because Leeds weren't giving it out to Clark, or is that because Norwich were just in on us every second? I don't know what you guys think about that. Disagree about Roof. He made effort and created good chances. Okay, that's fair enough. Harrison had an anchor up to the wing, unlucky. Yeah. Thanks for liking the video, guys. Roof needs to want it more. I don't know if I'd agree with that, mate, John. I do think he wants it. I do really like Roof. I think with Bamford we've got natural striker ability there. With Roof, you know, he's naturally a 10. He's a winger. That's where he's played his whole career. I mean, there was a point in the first half as well where the ball came up. I don't know if you remember that, but he sort of headed it and it went wide, and it was sort of reminiscent of that chance versus Rotherham. You know, where he knocked it wide there. I feel like a composed striker there. The ball to come in, chest it down, knock it in the bottom corner. Do you know what I mean? I feel Bamford, when he came on with his silky touches, he gives us so much in the box as well from corners. You know, with Douglas and Bamford, maybe that could be a link in the future. It's not all bad, guys. We had a lot. It'd have been awful if Bamford had come on and he'd have been crap. You know, but he came on and he was really good. You forget Pablo went off as well. So if Pablo's in the squad for next week, him linking up with Bamford, that'd be a nice little link as well. Infectious, Alioski and Douglas, no chemistry. Yeah, that's one of the best comments I've seen today, Infectious. I completely agree. They've got no chemistry, and from day dot, I actually thought when they played Norwich away, that was probably the best chemistry they've had, those two together. But I completely agree with you. There's no understanding there. Douglas looks very frustrated with Alioski, I feel. But then you've got to give Alioski a little bit of, I feel you've got to give him a little bit of slack because he's not a left winger. And, you know, this is where it's frustrating with Leeds. I don't want to come off as too frustrated, you know, but it does do my head in that we've not got a winger, you know, and Harrison's the only real winger on that side, you know, and I know a lot of you guys agree with that because I see it in the comments. Aileen looks like he doesn't know what to do when he has the ball. I agree, mate. I agree. But, you know, he's had good seasons for Leeds United, but I just feel this season he's been way off it. Phillips and Bamford to start at Borough, yeah, definitely. I thought, mate, we missed Phillips massively. And, you know, you look at when we played Norwich last time, we had Saiz in the squad, we had Phillips in the squad and Berardi. You'd say all three of those were the key players. You know, I was upset when we lost Saiz because I think a lot of people criticise Saiz for the assists and the goals. He didn't get that many. But in every single game, he'd have 2 or 3 men around him. They'd be kicking the shit out of him. And you'd always see Cleek and Hernandez with a little bit of space because they'd just be focusing on Saiz. He'd be getting kicked, and that would happen all the time, and it would free up the other players. I feel now there's not that much space because, you know, when Click's Marshall, Click didn't have as much natural ability as Saiz, and that's why they'd always put 3 around him. They only need really 1 on Cleek. And Hernandez. I mean, Hernandez, natural ability-wise, he's probably got as much as Saiz, but those two used to intertwine very well because if one of them was getting kicked, the other one would pick the ball up. But he doesn't really have that now, Hernandez. It's just sort of all on him for the creativity, and that is frustrating. But yeah, Phillips has to start, and Bamford has to start for me as well. It's interesting, who would you start him instead of? Would you start him instead of Roof, or would you play them both together? Norwich City for Eve, can we play you every week? Easy. I guess this is the sort of annoying thing because I get it, and it's one of those things where you don't get triggered by it. I've come on, I think of plenty of Leeds fans in the comments as well. They're fair with Norwich. They were the better team on the day. But, you know, we've beaten you at Ellen Road, so we've beaten you 3-0. You've beaten us 3-1. So we're still winning on aggregate. So if you want to see it that way, then you want to see it that way. But, you know, we've given you your plaudits. Take it. Let's not be smug about it. And that's that. We'll probably be in the top 2 at the end of the season. Anthony Henry, Bamford scoring was a huge plus. We'll bring something more, but I'd love to see Brown start and get Phillips back in CDM role. Younger, fitter, stronger than Adam Forshaw. Yeah, at the end of the day, mate, that's one of the things you've got to say as well. We didn't have our fully fit squad out today. You know, you got your Calvin out. Douglas didn't start the game. Izzy's obviously coming back, which will be a massive boost. Paddy didn't start the game. Bamford. So, you know, you've got a lot of key players still out, you know, so we all think that, you know, we're coming to a point at this minute in time where we're getting all our players back, but we're really not, you know, until we start getting Izzy back, Berardi back, Bamford fully fit, Douglas fully fit. We've not got a fully strength squad, so we're sort of making do at the minute. But, you know, Norwich have got options all over the field. They've not got any injuries. Their only injury is Moritz Leitner. That's it. And I know he's a quality player, but they've got people to to sort of make up that role. So they've got players, they've got options all over the field. You know, you bring in your Alex Tetties on, your Jordan Rhodes. You know, they're not injured. When we have our full team back, I do think that you'll see a lot more positivity from Leeds, and I guess from opposition fans, that's not what they see with Leeds. I think they come to Ellen Road and this is the full strength squad because they don't take into account what's going on at Leeds at the minute. For the past sort of 4 or 5 games, we've had a bunch of 18-year-olds on the bench. So, you know, if we had a fully fit squad for the entirety of the season, our normal back 5 has played together 5 times this season. You've got to bear that in mind. 5 times, you know, which is just absolutely shocking. It's not, you know, consistency is key in this division. So it's one of those things where you've got to bear it in mind. You know, so yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? So yeah, but I'd sort of bear it in mind that we've got all that sort of to come back. So you know, I'd be positive with it, guys. Let's read some of your comments anyway. Looked out of balance without Pablo. Clark and Alioski should have switched sides. Yeah, really good comment there, mate. I thought, and the reason behind that is because I think Clark's a lot of the play was going on the left, wasn't it? I don't know why, but all the play was going on the left. You had Clark screaming for it on the right-hand side, and all the play was going down the left. You know, Douglas and Alioski were trying to form something which wasn't really there, which is worrying, you know, because let's be right, if you look at Norwich in comparison, O'Neill Hernandez on the right, Buendia on the left, you know, there's a real balance to that side, and there's an understanding. They don't change the team. You know, we have to change our team because of injuries, so that's what you've got to bear in mind. But going forward, they've got a lot of balance in the team. You know, there's a lot of coherence within that team, and Leeds do have that. But the problem is, it's the width. You know, when the ball gets out to Alioski because he's a left back, he just seemingly doesn't know what to do with it. There was one time where he started running back, he gave away a silly foul, and that was that. And I think, you know, if we have someone decent on that side, potentially Izzy Brown when he comes back, I think you're going to see a lot more quality come from the left. And I think you're going to see a Douglas linking up really well with whoever's on the left-hand side. But at the minute, I don't get the whole Alioski thing on the left. You know, maybe persist with Harrison on the left, bring Douglas on. I don't know, take Alioski off. Because Alioski and Douglas, it doesn't work. What else have we got here? Yeah, Conor Jackson. Last time this happened to us, we went on a 7-game winning streak. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is one of those things, and we know as Leeds United fans, we are relying heavily on Izzy Brown and Bamford coming back. You know, but that's why we brought them in at the end of the day. So yeah, you know, we're in first place, guys, for a ridiculous amount of time. The injuries we had. I mean, we've had injuries. You know, you talk about Chef Wednesdays, Chef United, all the teams around the Hull. You know, all the teams around us, they have no injuries like Leeds have had injuries. So that's what you got to bear in mind. I mean, when we get a fully fit squad back, I mean, we'll be raring up the table. So, you know, Norwich have done us, we've done them. So at the end of the day, you know, it's been poor performance. I think the only worrying thing for me would be the fact that we've lost 5 and 7. That's a little bit of a rut for me. And we need to get out of that pretty quickly. And we've got a lot of tough games coming up. You know, Borough away, as I've said, Swansea at home, West Brom at home, Sheffield United at home, you know, but this is where we need to make Leeds a fortress, and we can't have any repeat performances like that. It's got to be ironed out straight away. The last time we had a performance like that at Ellen Road was Wolves last season when we lost 3-0. So that has got to be ironed out right now, and I'm sure Bielsa's getting into the team right now, and we're not going to see anything like that again. And when Sheffield United come to Ellen Road and West Brom come to Ellen Road, you know, it's going to be a little bit different. We'd hope it'd be different because it follows that similar pattern. We're struggling to get into that top 2. What else have we got here? What else have we got here? Why was Douglas brought on though? Shocking player that can't defend and is a one-trick pony with just whipping it long and box to box. Him and Forshaw have to be dropped. Yeah, I don't know, Daniel. I agree with what you're saying, mate. I don't know what's going on with him at the minute. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, last year you've got to look at who his wingers were. I mean, you've got Diogo Jota, and then you've got Ivan Cavallero. Very, very good wingers. I mean, apparently there's potential for us to get Ivan Cavallero this window. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think us not getting a winger in is going to hamper us on the basis of that performance? What do you guys think? Because I know Izzy Brown is coming back, but is he more of a 10? I'm interested to know what you guys think. That's what this whole comment section is for. So, yeah. I don't know. I think Douglas struggles without an out-and-out winger. I think he likes dinking that ball over the top. I think that's where potentially you'd have got a Daniel James running in behind the defence, but you're not going to get that with Alioski. So Leeds have got to either change formation or we've got to keep going with that. But at the minute, I think the 4-1-4-1, I don't know about you guys, but Roof looks isolated. I think the only time really in the past 2 months that he's not looked isolated is the second half in the Rotherham game, where you have the likes of Cleek following on from him, getting his 2 goals, you know. And I think he looks a little bit isolated at the minute. If you look at Bielsa's career, he's never played a 4-1-4-1. It's always been 3-3-1-3, 4-2-3-1. So I think he's adapting his play at the minute for the fact that Leeds don't have that much width. I'm interested to see what you think. I think our best attacking player left us for Getafe and we didn't replace him, and now making the transition from defence to attack just isn't happening down the middle. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, guys, what I don't want to do on this is to make it overly negative, because I know, like, you know, it's frustration, it's post-match, I get that. But I'm going to be real with you guys, that wasn't good enough. Have we missed out on a player? Have we missed out on the fact that we haven't brought anyone in, a winger, you know, an outfield player? We've got an excellent keeper in, but an outfield player. Are we going to see Bogus very soon? Matthias Bogus, the 17-year-old. Are we going to see him a little bit more? Is he going to fluctuate the play? Are we then going to see Izzy Brown in, and then we're going to see a completely different formation with Bamford in? There are positives in that respect, because when Bamford comes back in and then Izzy Brown comes back in, there's going to have to be a change in formation. Then could we potentially go to a 4-2-3-1, but it'd be a 4-2-3-1 narrow, because I don't think we're going to get much width from Izzy Brown, because he's not naturally a wide player. When a ball is crossed in, Roof just can't reach it because he isn't tall enough. Patrick Bamford is more suitable for a 4-1-4-1. Yeah, excellent, Infectious. You could be bang on there, mate. And I guess as well, if he's playing in the isolated striker role, if you've got Cleek, and you know, you could even potentially play a Roof just off him, or a Tyler Roberts just off him, or a Cleek just off him. If that's how it plays, maybe the 4 in behind Bamford could act as sort of a diamond. And then what you could get is them playing just off Paddy Bamford. He's holding the ball up. He's a 6'2.5" lad. He's holding the ball up. Bear in mind, guys, when Bamford came back in off injury for Borough last season, he scored 9 goals in 12. He's just come back and he scored 1. Bolton, he came back and he scored 1. Earlier on in the season, he started against Bolton in the Cup and he scored 1. This guy is a prolific striker in this division, and he looked excellent when he came on today. So there are positives. You've got to bear that in mind. There are definitely positives. I just think there needs to be a switch up. There has to be a switch up from this 4-1-4-1 formation, because as you just said, Infectious, Roof is isolated. He's not tall enough to compete with Zimmerman. Zimmerman was about 6'5". Ben Godfrey, 6'3". And a lot of teams in the Championship are shithouses. You know, you get the Blades coming to Ellen Road. You're going to have the likes of Basham. You know, John Fleck stepping on his toes. That's what you're going to get from Sheffield United. Then you're going to have West Brom coming down. Potentially a Kyle Bartley, you know, just on his toes. Or a Hagazi on his toes. He's not going to be able to deal with that in the air. And as you've said, a lot of the balls, we saw it at Rotherham in the first half. So many balls were coming in the first half. I think there was about 12 balls coming in. Roof's not just going to win it. He's not going to win it against 6'5" centre halves. But potentially what you could do is you could play Roof just in behind Bamford. Or a Tyler Roberts just in behind Bamford. We could have players coming on it, and Bamford is the key. This is nowhere near a negative, guys. That's what you've got to bear in mind. There are a hell of a lot of things to be positive about. Bamford comes back, he gets a goal, gives a completely different aerial threat. Douglas back in the side. Izzy Brown only 3 weeks away. We want Izzy Brown back right now, but we're going to have to be patient. We've been patient all fucking season, haven't we? But at the end of the day, with all these players coming back, Berra coming back within 2 weeks, we're going to be able to fluctuate the formation a little bit more. At the minute, it seems rigid. At the minute, it seems stagnant. It seems static. But it has to fluctuate. It has to be fluid. It has to change up. That's it. It has to change up. The formation has to change up. It does, because we're becoming predictable at the minute. Norwich, if West Brom are to look at Leeds right now, we look predictable. High press, and on their every touch. Make sure Jack Clark feels uncomfortable. Get right on him every time he has a second touch. Take him out the game, as Joe Matic did for Rotherham last week. Jake Bidwell did for QPR. There has to be a change up. And I think Bielsa is smart enough, he's intelligent enough, he's well-rounded enough that there will be a change up. There has to be a change up because Leeds, at the minute, as I've just said, are becoming predictable, becoming stale. Tony Pulis will have, well, you know what he's like. He's a prick. But he will have Leeds on number and he will know exactly how we play. He'll watch tonight and he'll try to do a blueprint on that. They won't be able to because they're not as good as Norwich, but they're shithouses. So they'll put 8 at the back and Leeds will get frustrated. So there needs to be something else where we need to find a little bit of vigour. When we played Borough last time, we didn't have Paddy Bamford fit. We didn't have Forshaw fit, for example. You know, there's different variations of what we can have against Borough. So let's not all be negative against Borough because that's not the case. They got a really good result today, but they've had shite results for the last, 2 months. But at the end of the day, when you look at the league table, you know, they're 7 points behind us. So Leeds are the better team. We're the favourites going into that game. So that's what we've got to bear in mind. Let's have a look. Never a pen. Cheap goal for Leeds at the end there. Yeah. Okay. I cringe when we are knocking it around deep in our own half. Too many mistakes that have led to soft goals. Andy UK. Yeah, I get it. I get what you mean, Andy, but you're not going to get many teams like Norwich. You're not going to get many teams who are going to be able to keep that high intensity press up. They've got quality players as well. They're not that far down from the Premier League. Let's be right. People talking about Norwich as if they're these underdogs, as if they're this underdog of the division. I understand when you've got likes of West Brom, Swansea, Stoke, Villa in the league. Of course I do. But Norwich haven't been out of the Premier League that long. You know, when they had that German contingency come in about a year ago, 2 years ago, they still had to have funding into that. You know, the likes of Vrancic, Stiepermann, players like that, you know, I get they've got Rhodes on loan, but Pookie and all this sort of stuff, it's not like wages and transfer budgets. They're really struggling, you know, and they're in bottom 3 and they've got to the top. It's how some people are talking as if Norwich are just sort of this lowerly team which should be finishing in the bottom 4 that have managed to scrape into the top 2 and they've done that well. Norwich have done excellently well, but Leeds have done a lot better. We've had no one fit. We've had no one fit for the entire season. Let's be right. We have changes. We need to change this squad consistently. We've had our back 5 together for 5 games this season. We've had children playing. We've had 17. We've had 16. We've had 18-year-olds featuring week in, week out for this Leeds United squad. I look at that Norwich team and I think that has got depth. That's got strength and it's got depth and it's got quality. Leeds United, we are doing so well at this minute in time. Oscar said it perfectly earlier. You've got to enjoy where we are at the minute. We are doing so well. We shouldn't be above Villa. We should be above West Brom. We shouldn't be above these sort of sides. Even Norwich, we shouldn't because we don't have the financial capabilities to compete with these teams at the minute. We don't. They've still got parachute payments coming down. Certain teams have. You know, Norwich are only 2 or 3 years out of it, so they've still got the wage budget. They've still got the wage structure. We are doing so well. Sheffield United, how excellently are they doing to be in the top 2 of this division? We shouldn't be where we are, and that's why Bielsa has given us a little bit of hope. He's given us this sort of vigour, which makes us all excited. And we're doing so well, so enjoy it where we are. We can have a moan, we can have the bitch, of course we can, because that wasn't fucking good enough. But at the end of the day, what we are doing right now is absolutely fantastic. And for fans who are going, Leeds are falling apart again, it's embarrassing because teams who are saying it, you look at your Chanzeri, who's richer than Radrazani. You know, you look at your Villa owners who are richer than Radrazani, your West Brom, your Norwich, etc., who are all up in that division. They're still receiving shite from the Premier League. And when I say shite from the Premier League, I mean, you know, for example, Norwich, who've been out there for 5 years or so, they've still got that wage structure. You know, we've been out there since 2004, for Christ's sake. You've had Reading in the Premier League more regularly than you have Leeds. So what you've got to bear in mind is we are doing so well. And I'm so happy to be a Leeds fan at the minute. I'm so proud to be a Leeds fan at the minute. So you've got to ride with the times. You know, we can be frustrated. Of course we can today. But how many teams have dominated Leeds thoroughly this season? How many? You know, that game probably, yes, I'd say so. And West Brom, that's it. You know, out of an entire calendar of championship fixtures, with a team that finished 13th last season, there's been one change in Douglas. Can you say the same thing for Norwich? Can you say the same thing for West Brom? Can you say the same thing for Sheffield United even? I don't think you can. So that's where you've got to be so positive. Do you understand what I mean? You know, I'm seeing a lot of people coming on here and being ultra negative and we're shit with this, with that and the other. We've had children playing for us, for Christ's sake. I went to Villa away. Robbie Goss, Jamie Shackleton, Clark, who'd not featured properly then, Lee fucking Davis coming in at left back against what? Tammy Abraham, fucking Codger. You know, it's ridiculous. The array of talent. And we went there and we came back from 2-0 and won 3-2. What do we expect? What are our expectations? At the start of the season, will we have taken where we are right now? 100%. So what we've got to go is, what we've got to do is we've got to go into these next 6 games. I've said it from moment one. I've made a fucking montage on it. We've got 16 cup finals. We're still in the top 2. We've got a team who's 3 points behind us, but we've still got them to play. We've got a team who are 4 points behind us, and we've still got them to play. We've got a team who are 5 points behind us, and we've still got them to play. Bear that in mind. Be positive. Because what I can be a negative twat. It's because we're all frustrated. We're all Leeds fans. It happens. It's football. We're also passionate about this club that we love. But at the end of the day, guys, we are so privileged to be in this position. No one has a divine right to be in the Premier League. And how well we are doing at the minute is paramount. And you've got to keep on that train. There's going to be a point where Bielsa leaves. There's going to be a point where this lovely football ends. Football works in cycles. But what we've got to do is we've got to ride that cycle and keep going with it. You know, we're gonna go to Borough next week. We're gonna take 4,000 or 5,000 up there. I'm going up there, and we're gonna sing our hearts out. We're gonna beat them. We will. We'll beat Borough, and we'll get West Brom at home in the next massive game, and it'll be an absolute intense atmosphere. We won't let this shit happen again. We will not let this happen again. Look at what Norwich did. Use Norwich as an example. I hate to say that, but use them as an example. The start of the season, we walloped them. We played them off the park for 70 minutes straight. They had the first 30, but I think we had the first 30 today. The only difference was they were clinical and they scored within that first 30. We had the first 30 and we beat them 3-0. They beat us 3-1. We beat them 3-0. And it was a more dominant affair, us down at Carrow Road. So keep positive, yeah? Keep bearing in mind where we are. I'm going to read some of your comments. I need a drink. I'm thirsty. Let's read some of your comments. A lot of hate in these comments. I'm just trying to scroll down and find there's some Leeds comments. So just some footballing comments. Let's have some football talk back, guys. You know, and if you haven't as well, like the video. I wonder if Bielsa knows how much this means to us fans. Yeah, of course he does, mate. Of course he does. The guy bleeds footballs. For Newell's old boys, there's a real great picture of him being held on someone's shoulders and him screaming. He understands what it is. He gets it. Of course he does. Listen, if you're not Leeds, you hate Leeds. Look at the comments. This is what we all get. This is what we all get. If you're not Leeds, you hate Leeds, and that's just how it is. I think a lot of fans are bitter with Leeds. I get the fact that, you know, a lot of fans maybe, oh, Leeds are falling apart again. I get that, but you know, the amount of awe we get of our fans, you know, the fact that we take 6,000, 7,000 to Bristol a couple of years ago on a Tuesday night, the fact that we take 6,000, 7,000 to Ipswich on a Tuesday night, you don't win leagues by fan bases, but the fact we stick by our team, the fact we're with our team from League One, and some of the older lot have been in even worse times, you know. Losing to Histon, losing to all these shitty teams, and we're still there week in, Sutton, week in, week out, and we're still positive and passionate for our team. That's envious for a lot of fans across the country. That is, and it's always been the case. That's why you'll get people who'll go out of their way to come on a Leeds channel when they're opposition fans and start spreading hate. So you've got to see it as a compliment. Us at all Leeds TV see it as a compliment. You get opposition fans coming on, giving us loads of hate. So you've got to see it. You've got to see it as a positive thing at the end of the day. If you're not Leeds, you hate Leeds, and it's always been the case. So Roof needs to understand he's a number 9. He doesn't play in the midfield or on the wing. Get Bamford in. So frustrating. Yeah, but I think that's Super LUFC. We've got that, haven't we? You know, we've got that. So that's another option we've got off the bench, and he's coming up against his old side. And you're going to think he's going to have a little bit of tricks against Ayala, isn't he? He's going to have a little bit a bit of things going on. I'm hoping that he's not, in the press conference he's not injured or anything like that. I'm hoping Pablo's fully fit as well. But if we get a Pablo fully fit, there's always going to be time. We can't win every single game. We can't. Cardiff went up on 10 losses last season. I think this season in the Championship you could have 12 losses and still go up. I genuinely believe that this season, potentially 11. I do think that's how the Championship's fallen this season. Anyone can win it. So, it's going to go right down the wire. We all know that. But with the Bamford fully fit, when Izzy Brown's back in 2 or 3 weeks' time, we've got a lot more. It's like two new signings. Bamford's played, 3 times? Is he featured 3 times? Scored. So Bamford, when he comes in regularly, what are we thinking here? We're thinking he's going to do quite well. I'm thinking he's going to do quite well. Izzy Brown, what's he doing? Under 23s. Scores. So we put those two together, and then what have we got? We've got fucking goals. We've got a clinical notion in our play for the first time. You haven't got a left back on the wing. You've got a change in formation. You don't have to rely on Harrison, who's only a young lad, or Clark, who's a young lad. You've got a little bit more experience in the Championship. You forget Izzy Brown's done it. He's done it with Huddersfield. He's got promoted with Huddersfield. He was excellent for the first 6 months against Rotherham. Patrick Bamford, he's been everywhere. He's been at Norwich. He's been at Derby. He's been at Borough. Borough didn't want to sell him. I've got so many Borough friends who didn't want to. I was with one today. My mate Mackie didn't want to sell Bamford. Gutted we've still got him, and they've got a Sombalonga. So that's what you got to bear in mind, guys. Leeds aren't just evident. We're just not. It's not just turned down. We're just shit. That's not how it works. We'll go again. Bielsa will have him in every single day next week. Don't get me wrong. He will not be happy with that, and I don't accept that. I really don't accept that. But do you just turn around and say Norwich were better on the day? I do. I think Norwich were better on the day, and that's the difference. I feel as Leeds fans we can say that. Norwich were better on the day. That's it. That's football. That's how it works. We were better at Carrow Road. They're better today at Ellen Road. That's just how it works. That's life. Not every single game we're going to go out and win. The only thing at the minute, 5 losses in 7, we have to break that rut. And if we go to Borough and we win at Borough, everyone's psyche's different. We go there, Paddy Bamford scores, Pablo Hernandez has a worldie game, Cleek has a worldie game, and we beat Borough 2-1. Borough in 5th? We've beaten our promotion rival there. The best thing at the minute is people are talking about us going into a run of hard games. What would you rather? Would you rather us face Ipswich? Would you rather us face Bolton, etc.? Of course you wouldn't. And we've got them to come up at the end. But would you rather take points off teams around you? Today was an option. Today was an option to do that. We could have done that. We didn't do that. But we've got Sheffield United, we've got Borough, we've got West Brom all coming up. We take points off those 3, that's a massive, massive coup for Leeds. We take points off those 3, it impacts them and it impacts us. We got to Borough and beat them next week. Borough's as big a game as it was today. We don't give a shit if we finish 1st or 2nd. I don't anyway. I don't know if you guys do. I don't. I personally don't give a shit if I finish 2nd. I want to get out of this division. That's what I want to do. I don't want to go in the playoffs. I can't stand the playoffs, and we've got a horrendous record in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, I want to get in that top 2. I don't care if Norwich win it. I can give two shits. They can go up singing, on the ball today, all that shite. They can go and do that. I couldn't give a bollocks if they do that. But at the end of the day, I want to go up. So if we finish in the top 2 and the Canaries win it, who cares? Who's bothered? But we've got to keep that up. Consistency is key in promotion. We've got to go to Borough and put in a performance. I think Borough's more of a must-win now. We've lost to Norwich. We've not put in a good performance. It was a nice little 10-minute performance at the end when Paddy came on, when I didn't feel we gave Clark the ball, which is frustrating. But it was nice at the end. You saw a little bit of positivity there. You saw a little bit of how we can change it. Bamford's fully fit now. He's not got that niggle in his hamstring, which he had when he came back when we played Bolton. We've got a lot of things coming back. So I'm as frustrated as you guys, because I know we can put in better performances like that. I know that's not Leeds United. But then you've got to give credit to Norwich, because they came and stamped their authority on Leeds today, and they were the better team. Better team on the day. But we've got to go to Teesside next week, and we've got to be the better team. And when we play West Brom at home, we've got to be the better team. We've got to reinvigorate that Ellen Road as a fortress again. And when Sheffield United come down, we can't let what happened last season when they came down and did us on our own patch. You can't hear it. I can't handle Sheffield United coming and doing us again. We've got to do it. We're beating them the once this season. That's what I mean with Sheffield United fans in the chat giving it large. We're beating Sheffield. I don't get it. But anyway, anyone can beat anyone in this division. What I'm saying is we've got to turn it round now, and this is the time. This was a shocking performance, and I really think that. And a lot of you might not think that, and I completely comply with why you wouldn't think that, because the first half, we were okay. My question to you is, did we create chances? Did we have a gilt-edged chance in the first half? And I think that culminates into a good side, creating chances, converting chances. And that's what Norwich did today. That's what we did at Carrow Road. We had 5 shots on target. We scored 3 on that day. Today, we haven't done that. We've had more shots than they have. I think we had 15, and we've had about 4 on target. That's not good enough. The chance conversion there isn't good enough, and we've scored 1 goal. So we've had 15 shots and we've scored 1 goal. That's not good enough. Okay? Norwich have had 5 shots, they've scored 3. That is good. So we need to change that. With Patrick Bamford in the side, that's going to change. Thomas King, we've missed out with not getting a central midfielder. Potentially, mate, yeah, potentially. But, you know, it's just we've got to deal with that now, haven't we? All things Leeds, I don't think we were the better side first half. Had the possession but created F all. Norwich came and played their game plan and took their chances. I'd agree with Ed. I completely agree with you, mate. I didn't know if I was in the minority. I really didn't. But when I see this indication of likes, you know, if you like this video, you evidently kind of agree with what I'm saying, I presume. That's why you like the video. You sort of understand that for me, we weren't good enough in the first half either. We didn't have any conviction. We weren't clinical. We weren't critical in attacking. We weren't aggressive on and off the ball. For me, that culminates in a result, and we weren't. We were the exact opposite of what we were at Norwich at Carrow Road. We were the exact opposite. So you're not going to get a result, are you, at the end of the day? Back at 15 shots, we had 10 after 20 minutes. I don't think we had 10 after 20 minutes, mate. But even if we did have 10 after 20 minutes, how many were there on target with the clear-cut chances? Forshaw had a pop from miles out. Cleek had a pop from outside the box. Cleek had another pop from outside the box. Hernandez had a shot that was blocked. He had a shot that was speculatively over from a corner where he ballooned it up. They're not chances for me. It doesn't matter if you have shots. It doesn't matter if you have 50 shots in a game. You have to get them on target, and they have to be a proper chance. It's like on FIFA. If you're on FIFA 19, I have more shots than you, so that means I dominated the game. It's not the case. It's never the case for me. You possession and you create chances like we did against Derby. We had chance after chance after chance. We tore them apart. We had so many chances, and we converted 2, and we got the result at the end of the day. But actual chances, what did we have in that first half? And that's where I'll agree with Ed. That's where I'll completely agree with Ed. I don't think we did in the first half, you know. And I spoke on our group chat, and a lot of the lads thought we were the better team. I don't think we were in the first half because I thought Norwich were comfortable. I don't think we ever got them out. There was a chance for Roof, but that was really it. I don't think, and I thought when they were going forward, they looked a little bit dangerous. I thought Forshaw wasn't covering or screening the back 4 very well. So I thought when they went forward, they had a lot of space. Steeperman a lot of space, you know. And I thought when they were going forward, the fullbacks were joining in as well. So I don't know. I'm watching live. But about Brown being at 10, I agree. Our team is much more balanced and threatening when Hernandez is on the wing. He came off and did it today. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. 100% agree with you. When Hernandez is on the wing, we look better. When he came off, we lost a little bit today. We lost a little bit of vigour, creativity, dynamism, pragmatism. We lost that when Hernandez went off. Of course we did. But when he starts, we've got Clark on one wing, Hernandez on the other, and then we've got Brown in the middle, and then we can interchange. We can bring Harrison on. You know, if you want, you can kind of slip Alioski on that wing, which I don't want to do. But if you want to, you can do that. Calvin Phillips was the problem today because our back 4 wasn't screened. We didn't look good going forward, but I don't give a shit. If we come out of that game with a draw, if we come out of that game with a 1-1 draw and it's a scrappy goal like Brentford, we get a crappy goal in the last minute with Bamford, then I don't care. But at the end of the day, Leeds were not good at the back today. We weren't good in midfield today. I don't think you can necessarily blame it on us going forward. I thought defensively we were shite, and you build from the back. I don't think Casilla was good enough. That third goal, I thought his passing was a bit woeful today. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that. That's what I think. I don't think he was that convinced. My dad was saying it as well downstairs. Didn't say he was convinced by him. I thought he looked a little bit flappy as well. I don't know what you guys think about that, but you know, just because he's come from Real Madrid, it doesn't mean he's void of criticism. If you can criticise Alioski, if you can criticise Roof, if you can criticise Harrison, you can criticise the goalkeeper who's come from Real Madrid and played against Barcelona last season. You can do that. Of course you can. That's your fucking opinion. At the end of the day, he wasn't good enough. I don't think the back 4 were good enough, and I don't think Forshaw screened the back 4 well enough. You put Calvin Phillips in that role where he has been the best player this season in that role. the best player without doubt. The only person to challenge him would be Alex Tettey, who wasn't playing for Norwich today. The only player, in my opinion, who has played consistently in that role and been excellent, Calvin Phillips. You take him out of that side and we look a little bit suspect. I don't think Forshaw's got the physicality or the dynamism in that role. I think he's lovely at spraying a pass, he's lovely at keeping it neat, but can he screen a back four? Is he physical and aggressive enough to screen a back four? I don't think he is, and I think Calvin gives that in abundance, and then he gives an excellent quality in being able to spray the ball to Clark, who didn't get the fucking ball often enough tonight. Conor, we can still get promotion. We was poor. Hey, Jay, of course we can. Of course we can. Half of this video, mate, is me been talking about us, who we're getting back. Who we're getting back within this squad. You know, who's going to be successful in this squad. Izzy Brown, Patrick Bamford, Gaetano Berardi. Berardi, who moves us so much quicker from that back four to the middle and the attack. Berardi, who was excellent at the start of this season and who was Bielsa's first choice centre-back. Bear that in mind. Jansen's got better. Of course he has. But Bielsa wanted Berardi in that back four. And that's why he started with him. We were all like that at the start, weren't we? Oh, I'm not sure about that. I certainly was. But you had a left-footed centre-back and a right-footed centre-back. You had Cooper, you had Berardi, and they were excellent together. I'm not saying take Jansen out, but what I am saying is when Berardi's back in the squad, it gives the manager something to think about. What I used to love about Berardi is, yes, you'd lose the aerial threat of Jansen. You'd lose the aerial presence. But Berardi coped with it against Borough. Borough are arguably the strongest team in the league in the air. What I loved about what he did was he was able to get the ball and pass it to the midfield and to the attack, which he did really, really well. Hey, I'm not saying that is what Bielsa will do. 100% I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying I agree with that. What I am saying is having another option isn't exactly a bad thing, is it? Giving the manager something to think about isn't a bad thing. Berardi for Ayling. Berardi's got everything. When Berardi's back, we'll play three at the back. Wayne Mace. Wayne's completely right. But when Berardi is back, gives more chance of a 3-3-1-3. You're bang on. You are bang on. You know what? You know, this is why I love you guys, because you give me a little bit of a thought process and then I get all passionate about it. You know, I thought that before this game, but it's not clicked in my head right now. You're completely right. With Berardi, we got to a back three, which is what we're talking about in the whole video. It's been a change up in formation. It's Leeds going from rigid to fluid again. We need to be from rigid to fluid. That transition has to happen. I don't know whether or not that's a change in personnel or a change in personnel and formation. I'm not 100% sure, but you are bang on. You are bang on. And then people talking about Shackleton. 100%. Shackleton right wing back. You've got a lot of pace. You've got defensive attributes. You've got attacking attributes. You've got someone who can pass the ball as well. Someone who'll work hard. I didn't feel Ayling was working hard tonight. I really didn't. And then on the other wing, you've got either Douglas or you've got Alioski, because then you've got the left wing back option, haven't you? But then you've got a back three: Cooper, Jansen, Berardi. So then you get all three of them at the back, which is what we all want, because we all rate every single one of them. But who drops out? Who drops out for you guys? Saiz, it's that simple. Lynchy, we just have to move on from Saiz, mate. I completely agree with you. I think Saiz gave us something completely different, and I think he went under the radar. Saiz did, and I think a lot of players, when we played against Norwich, for example, I remember Tribal, I remember Tettey coming on. They're all just marking him, they're all surrounding him. It gave Cleek a little bit more space, and it gave Hernandez more space. We don't have that now. We don't have that player who's going to occupy every single Norwich midfielder and give space to all our other midfielders. I do think Saiz is a miss. That's a personal opinion. Alioski, far superior left back to Douglas, with way more threatening. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about, let's say if we went to a 3-3-1-3, who would you want? Because I'm all for a change in formation. I'm all for a change in formation, but who would you have? Who would you guys have? I think I'd go for him. I think I would go for Alioski. But Douglas, I don't know with Douglas. Can Douglas play a left wing back? He did it for Wolves, to be fair. But I think he lacks pace. But we cannot have Alioski on the left wing. He's not a left winger. He's not a left winger. It's like putting Ayling right wing. Can't do it. It's like putting Ayling where Hernandez is. That's how you've got to look at it. It's like putting Ayling where Hernandez is. It makes no sense. But we have no options, and that's been the problem, hasn't it? Alioski and Shaq wing backs. Regroup, fight. Let's face it, we are Leeds. Scott Lightning, Alioski, Shackleton wing backs. I honestly don't think people should dwell on the January transfer window. There's Brown, Bamford, Berardi to come back. They'll change an awful lot of things and offer a new game. Douglas, one game back, FFS. Yeah, exactly. But who would you have? Would you have Douglas or would you have Alioski? That's the question I'm imposing on you guys. Who would you have if it went to a 3-3-1-3? I would have Douglas left wing. Douglas and Alien have been dodgy since injury. I'd agree with that. Hernandez is a number 10. He shouldn't be playing on the wing. I don't know, mate. I think Hernandez has been better on the wing. Berardi at right back. Didn't Berardi play really well as left back? I think Berardi's just quality, isn't he? Berardi can just do everything. He's that versatile thing. That's when Villa have brought in the likes of Tyrone Mings. That's the excellent thing about players like that. You want players like that because they're versatile. Mings can play centre mid. He can play centre back, left back, right back. Berardi's the exact same. Berardi can play anywhere on the pitch. And that's the excellent thing about having Gitana free from injury. He's so versatile. You know, when you've got potentially a Douglas not playing well or an Alioski not playing well, you can stick Berardi in there and he'll do that with confidence. And he's fierce, isn't he, Berardi? That's what we love about him. But yeah, I do feel, guys, that we did massively miss. We did massively miss Calvin Phillips today. And it was an interesting choice by Bielsa. I didn't want to go on about it too much in my preview because my preview normally focuses around Norwich, but I did think that was because they're just so strong going forward. And I think when you lose Phillips, especially Phillips who isn't coming back from injury, you know, and he's potentially alongside Hernandez and Cooper been the best player this season. He's definitely the most improved player. So why keep him out? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. And I can sit here and say, why didn't Bielsa do this? Why didn't Bielsa do that? But do we think he missed a trick not starting Calvin Phillips? Because for me, I'd have brought him on at half time. I said to my old man, I said I'd have brought Douglas on, I'd have brought Bamford on and Clark on at half time. But then I was wrong because I was wrong in that little vein of form because then I was a little bit like, well, we need something going forward. But evidently Phillips was needed. So I was wrong at half time. I think maybe Phillips should have been brought on at half time. I don't know. Borough are not good at home. We will win, I think. Yeah, hopefully. Shows you how shite Derby are. I guess you got to give us a little bit more credit. Do you know what the difference was between this game and the Derby game? Norwich are a much better team. There is no doubt about that. They're a much better team. But at the end of the day, we moved the ball quicker. We moved the ball so much quicker. It was 2 or 3 touches. And then it was gone. The ball was gone. We 8 or 9 touches. I mean, there was so many times in the middle of the box where I'm not calling him out, but he was shite today. So actually, I will call him out. I thought Forshaw was pedestrian, so he'd have the ball 7 or 8 touches, and I was screaming at the TV, get it out wide to Clark. Clark in acres of space. You can bring Clark on, but you've got to utilise him. You've got to give him the ball. And I thought half of the problem with that was because Norwich were keeping the ball off us and closing us down and being aggressive. But at the end of the day, when Leeds did have the ball, we were not exploiting Jack Clark, who is our main asset and the reason we look so dangerous in second halves of every single game, because he comes on and changes the game. Tactical decision to take Pablo off, I think. What do you think, Conor? Potentially, mate. Potentially. Yeah, potentially. That could have been the reason. I don't. What do you think? What do you think would have been the reason they'd have taken him off? Why? Why would you have taken Hernandez off? Let me know. Dave Wagstaff, Clark, no support from Ayling. Dave, completely agree with you. I thought it was just shocking. I thought it was awful today, Ayling. And he needs to come out for me. Pablo wasn't injured. Interesting. Casilla had no chance with the goals. If the free kick didn't get deflected, he saves it. Yeah, I agree with that, but the third goal was suspect. It's a tiny deflection. And it didn't change the flight of the ball for me. It didn't change where the ball was going, and he got megged. And for me as well, Casilla today, passing the ball out from the back, there was a couple that were a little bit stray. He's not exempt from criticism. He's not exempt from criticism. This guy has played in front of the Bernabeu, the Mestalla, he's the Parc des Princes. He's played everywhere. He's played at Wembley last season. You can't get overawed by the occasion. So I'm not having the fact that he's going to be English football might be different from him. At the end of the day, he's between the sticks. He's very good on the ball, and he's a very good shot stopper. So can you criticise him for that? Of course you can. You can criticise him, you can't blame him for the result. Third goal had BPF let that in, Joe would go into meltdown. He would, yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? You know, would you have blamed BPF? But would BPF have saved that strike versus Rotherham? I don't think he would have done, so tit for tat. Ayling, Harrison, Port, Phillips for Forshaw next game. Cleat goals versus Rotherham, a one-off. Alioski, I don't know. Yeah, let's hope it's not. I mean, if Cleat's only got one goal, you know, a couple of goals versus Rotherham in his locker, that's worrying. Because we need more goals from that area. But then I guess that's where you bring in Izzy Brown. Cleat was our best player. Cleat was our best player. Who would I say the best player was today? First half, I'd have said Tyler Roberts. A lot of you are going to disagree with that. I thought he was bright. I thought he was going forward. I thought Cleat was very side to side. I thought Tyler Roberts played really well. I thought he was unlucky to come off, but it needed to happen. You know, they were aggressive on him. They were right on him every time he touched the ball. And I thought he dealt with situations well. He won free kicks. He was the only one really driving Leeds forward. I thought, that's what I thought anyway. I thought he was the best player. Harrison, very one-dimensional, always trying to get onto his left foot. Yeah, I mean, I thought Harrison was poor today. I don't know how many. We don't have a choice. We've got to give him a chance. We've got to give him a chance. We've got no natural width, so we've got to give him a choice. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing with not bringing a winger in the window. We don't have a choice. We have to give him game time. We do. We have to give him game time. So, you know, I'm not saying he's a poor player, but he doesn't seem to prove it enough for me. He's not consistent enough. Harrison tries too much. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think a lot of times Harrison just needs to get the ball out of his feet and cross it in. Get the ball out of his feet and have a strike. And he did in the first half. He had a strike. He did it at Rotherham as well. But he's not. If I was a left back, I wouldn't be worried by Harrison because you know exactly what he's going to do. He needs to vary his game up a bit. He's evidently got a good right foot. You saw that in the first half when he went down the wing. That's the only bit of joy we really saw him got when he crossed the ball in for Alioski with that volley. You've got to go down the wing as well. You can't play on the right hand side and cut inside every single time. Snodgrass was a magician at it, and the reason Snodgrass was a magician at it was because he could go left foot and right foot, and that's why I think he was a special player. And that's why when you see people like Harrison who've got all the hype, but can he go on his right foot? I think he can. I genuinely think he can because you saw that delivery for Alioski. You've got to be confident to go on your right. If he starts going on his right, we've got a real player there, and there is a player there. He just needs to come out, and this is the time. We're in February, aren't we? And he's got to start coming to the fore now. Where does his career go from here? You know, Leeds we're not going to fully sign him. We're not. So he's got to start now, hasn't he? Tim Krul should have been shown a red card for that challenge on Tyler Roberts. Yeah, you've seen him given. You've seen him given, haven't you? You know, last man takes him out, you know, and that's one of the things as well. You know, you've seen it given. You've seen red cards given for things like that. So that was very interesting, the referee's decision on that. I thought the referee had a pretty poor game. He was in and out. I mean, what I will credit Norwich to as well was that, you know, they were very good at the old theatrics. Stiepermann must have been on the floor more times than, you know, I don't even know. I mean, more times than Adrian. The kid was always on the floor for a guy who's 6'2". And, you know, the Brendier as well, doing that to the referee. I hate that. And I think that's a lot of European culture coming into the English game. You know, the whole, I can't stand that. It's awful. Trying to con the referee into getting a player yellow carded. I do not agree with that at all. But yeah, it's one of those guys, you know, it's just we were second best. They were on the floor more than the ball. Yeah, I mean, they definitely knew how to play. A lot of shithousery in Norwich's play, but you know, they got the job done, didn't they? They got the job done, and that's that. At the end of the day, we cannot say anything about that, guys. Norwich were the better team on the day. So disappointing. I'm going to sign off now, guys. Disappointing. We go to Borough and we need to get a win for me. We need to get something. We can't go and lose another one because, you know, that'll be 6 and 8, and it's not great form. 5 and 7. We need to get out of this rut at the minute. So let's see if we can do that. Guys, please like this video. How long have we gone on for now? I think we've gone on for quite a while. 73 minutes, so we've got what, an hour and 13 minutes there. So see you next time, guys. Make sure you like this video, if you will. You know, I'm as disappointed as you guys. I really am gutted. But don't let it ruin your weekend. Don't let it ruin your weekend, because you know we've still got 16 games to come, 16 cup finals. We've won one. I started the 18 final thing. I did the montage. If you haven't seen that, go like it on all Leeds TV. I started that, and you know we beat Rotherham. That was one of the games down, but now we've lost to Norwich. You can't expect it to all go smoothly. Please like the video, guys, as I've said. Yeah, I hope you have an excellent evening. I know it's a bit shit now, and I know I'm the exact same, guys. It hurts. It really, really hurts. But that's why we're Leeds. You know, we're back to Borough next weekend. Let's get the win. Let's be positive. Make sure you check out Joe's post-match, which will be coming really, really soon. I'm sure you'll have a very animated Joe Wainman, and Oscar's, who's probably going to take down tactically how bad we were today and probably how good Norwich were. So make sure you give those guys a little view. Thank you for Claudio for editing out the cack of this group chat. And yeah, guys, look forward to Wainman's chat, rant, and look forward to Oscar's tactical debrief. Hope you've enjoyed me anyway. I'm sorry if I've come across a little bit miserable. I don't think I have. I'm trying to be unbiased. But please like the video, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.